Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order for February 23rd, 2021. Would you please rise for a moment? Thank you. Would you please join in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Nice to see you back, Paula. Roll call.
Trustee Sheets.
Here.
Trustee Hunter.
Here.
Trustee Good. Here.
Okay, and we have no minutes. I will make a motion to approve our expenditures. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter.
Yes.
Trustee Good. Yes.
Okay, we'll go on to departments. Deputy Carter is running late because of the Amber Alert we received a little while ago, but he's on his way here now. So we will go on to Road Department, and Rick, you are in for Robert.
Certificate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. We are signing the, to certify the mileage for the road mileage for Pleasant Township for the Ohio Department of Transportation, and Pleasant Township in Franklin County has 30 miles, .055. Now, do you want a copy of that, Paul?
Since we don't have that.
I can get it from Robert.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Rick.
Pleasant Township Road Department, February 23rd, 2021. Snow and ice, ordered tuning tires for truck 22. Tire dumper on Young Roads, we picked up 16 tires, spread down the road, and mileage certification.
Are you familiar with Mid Pines and Oakhurst? A lady who has a lot of flooding problems.
Yeah, I was back there last summer for you, remember?
Yep.
In March when we had this 6-incher, thank you.
Well, I heard from her today. She was trying to get pictures sent to me and her computer wouldn't cooperate. But if you guys have a minute, I sent a copy to Robert. I'll give you a copy now just in case of the email that she sent me. But if you guys have a chance, you can keep it. If you guys want to just, I don't know if I sent you that email.
Yeah, thank you.
Go over there tomorrow and take a look, see if she's home. I mean, it sounds like she has an awful mess. But I don't know what.
As I recall.
You went with them, didn't you?
I was with Rick when we worked. That's not the same street that we worked on.
When I met with her before, whoever that is that bought Oakhurst Golf Club,
Mm-hmm.
went back in there and redone the pond, I think made it deeper, So it's shoving water over into that area. Because Robert and them put in a bunch more drains and everything, fixed the problem, but then whoever bought that property back there dammed more around the pond, and now it's pushing water on them.
Well, if that's the case, then it's a civil matter.
That's kind of what I think, but we'll go talk to her.
Okay. All right, I appreciate that.
And she told me that herself, that they done more construction around
She
it.
has that in her email.
Yeah, I mean,
They putting a neighborhood in there somewhere?
not that I know
I thought I
of.
saw something, I attended a county planning and zoning meeting at some point, this was several months ago, they had an issue on there, and that was like a 5 or 6 house development going in that, off of Johnson Road. I don't know if that's moving forward or got squashed, stopped, I haven't heard anything about it since, but I don't know if you guys knew anything about it. So they have a maintenance entrance on Johnson Road, I guess, and they're putting 5 or 6 houses back in there on that, so. I mean, that was,
I saw that too at the corner of Johnson and Norton.
That's on Prairie's part then, correct? Because we don't start the Coons Road. See what I'm saying?
no,
The corner's ours.
yeah, well, yeah, part of the corners are.
But from the,
Maybe your maintenance starts at Coons Road, because
Right.
the road's split between Prairie and Pleasant, but our
Yes.
side of the road would be the golf course, I mean, that's Pleasant Township on that side.
okay, so they're taking it off Norton then.
Yeah, they're not, my understanding was they were taking off Johnson, there's a maintenance entrance to the golf course that goes to the maintenance barn,
But I haven't seen that, that's why
yeah,
I was
it's-
questioning where it's
I
at.
don't know if that's still going on, or if that's part of the improvements they're doing back there, or I just didn't know if you guys had heard that, and if there was any more movement on that. So it's just a piece of information that I had that I thought maybe was useful. So.
Does Oakhurst own clear to the roundabout? One of the lots was like the corner lot at the roundabout.
There's for sale signs there.
Yeah,
Is
Private.
there?
Yes.
I don't know whatever happened to the idea of putting 5 or 6 houses back in there, but that's what the plan was. The folks that bought the golf course.
But when I seen it, it was lotted off like 5 or 6.
Maybe that's what it is then. So. Anyway.
Okay, anything else for Rick? All right, thank you. Hey, chief.
To date, we've had 81 calls for February. Actually, it's more than that now. We've had 3 or 4 today, so we're up to about 85 for the day. All American was in yesterday to complete some of the warranty work, minor warranty stuff that's going on with the engine, just little minor tic-tac stuff that our bumper-to-bumper warranty will expire in August, so we've been going through that truck with a fine-tooth comb to make sure everything's buttoned up on it before August. So Medic 2 had a brake caliper hanging up yesterday. Aaron got a hold of fire apparatus. They were in today and fixed it, so it's back in service. Utility truck. I talked to Ed last week. We had one of the guys backed it into one of the yellow protecting posts for the wellhead outside. Did some damage to the bumper. We're going to look at potentially repairing it here in house, because the estimate I got was for like almost $1,300. Ed and I agreed was a little much, so we're going to look at maybe just replacing that bumper in house. Shouldn't, as it looks, it probably is just a bumper that will need replaced. There's nothing, no other major damage to it. We had some issues with the front furnace last week, over the weekend, and then today. We had a bad thermostat. That was replaced. A few days later, the furnace wasn't heating. It was running, but not heating. So I had West Jeff come back out. They replaced an outside temperature sensor. Over the weekend, the ice melting off the roof melted a lot of moisture down onto the pressure regulator outside. That froze solid. When it refroze at night, the guys got that thawed. Everything was fine there. I'm not sure if thermostat issue or that issue caused a defrost sensor to go bad in the heat pump outside. So we've had West Jeff out 3 or 4 times to deal with that thing. I think we've got it buttoned up now. It's been working all day, so. We're still working through filing cabinets and other stuff. You can see we put the display cabinets back in here. We put some of the old memorabilia and whatnot in here.
Looks really nice.
Thank you. If you guys have things, know of things that would be great to display, let us know. We've got the bookshelves out there. As of right now, they're empty, so we can use that for display as well. I just think it would be great to have the history of the township and some of the other things displayed in here rather than piles of books that nobody's using and things like that. So that's just kind of the start. So if you guys know of things that are around, the road department has some artifacts in the back or items that they want to display, we'll get those bookshelves back in here and we'll use them for display rather than, like I said, have a pile of books on them. So we're going to be moving another filing cabinet in for Paula. I guess we missed one of hers. She alerted me to that tonight, so we'll be taking care of that for her. And then we're doing some work in the radio room. We repainted the room. We got a new cabinet installed. It's going to basically all the electronic stuff was put inside of that, so it's not kind of an eyesore anymore. And the guys are putting up the framing for a countertop that is going to be used for a workstation and whatnot instead of having the desks and whatnot in there. It's going to make it a little more efficient and user-friendly for our folks. So the turnout gear we ordered through the CARES Act money has been delivered. We're in the process of inventorying that, washing and issuing that gear. I did apply for an assistant firefighters grant for equipment. It's about a $75,000 ask for hydraulic extrication tools, airbags, and other extrication equipment for the engine. I don't anticipate an award till probably late spring, early summer will be when the awards would come out. So another request I have, and Ed and I have been talking back and forth on this a little bit, but the Pierce engine, Pierce sent us a proposal. Ed had talked to a gentleman at Pierce about that proposal he sent, and they sent us a second proposal, which I provided you guys over the weekend. I don't know if you had a chance to look at or not, but I just didn't know when you wanted to have some discussion on that and what we're going to do with that idea.
Did you come up with figures on that?
I did. I sent them to you. I have. So what I come up with is the original proposal was about. Again, we have that open head gasket issue.
Yes.
But our estimate is about $44,902.70. Their proposal is about $30,025 even, and that's with the estimated head gasket problem that thing has. So I did go through the list. I found a couple other things that we could pull out. On the chassis, item number 7 was a fuel filter bracket. They talked about rust jacking with that. I think that should be covered. We shouldn't be paying for that. Chassis item number 12, the exhaust tip. There's no reason to replace a chrome exhaust tip because we're going to take it off and put our bracket for the ventilation system on it. There's no pretty chrome tip on that, so there's no reason for that. And then the slide out steps on the body, they wanted to replace those. I don't really feel we need those at all. I just don't. The guys don't use them. They've been froze up for years. The guys aren't using them, and let's be honest, they're just going to freeze up again. So I think we can just remove those. So those were the 3 things I took off. My thought is the truck's 14 years old. It's only, lived half its life. The repairs they're going to make to it are significant, and they're doing it at their cost, which is about 31% less than what our cost would be, to have it done. We're going to get another 10 to 12 years out of this truck in reserve status. And the great thing about that truck for us is not only can we use it as an engine, as it's been used for years, but we can also use it as a tanker, and that will help us greatly. But we know the tanker needs some work as well. When Pierce gave us, when Ed and I took them up to Franklin for those inspections, they indicated that truck needed to have a tank out frame repair done to it. It's not as nearly as significant as that engine was, but if we stay ahead of it, we won't get into that position again. So when we did the original resolution, I believe we authorized Pierce up to $50,000. So it's gonna cost us basically an additional $25,000 to fix all the issues with that truck.
Above the 50.
Over and above the 50, it'd be about $75,000. My total now is $75,015.
That's with the removable, the slide out steps.
That's with all that taken off. So that's with the piece with the rust jacking, the chrome tip. Those are just the three things that I found that I thought we really don't need these. Everything else, I mean, again, we're getting it done at cost. I mean, some of the items we could probably get done here, but at what cost, I have no idea.
The
I think-
problem I see, that truck's in Appleton, Wisconsin, and we didn't foresee all these other additional.
And quite frankly, it's tore apart, so it's gonna cost less to fix these issues now
Absolutely.
than getting it back here all put back together, and then we send it somewhere to have something done, they're gonna have to tear it apart. So I think we're ahead of the game. It's in Appleton, it's at the manufacturer. They built the truck, they know how to fix the truck. And when it comes back, it's gonna be, significantly in better shape than it was. Our maintenance costs are gonna go down on that truck. I did not run maintenance, and I just simply forgot to do that. I was gonna look at the maintenance over the last few years on that truck, but we've put quite a bit of money into that thing in the last few years. That will go down because all these issues have been fixed. So, I did, just out of curiosity, look up some comparables, let's say. I found 6 or 7 trucks they're included in what I sent you guys. But let's suffice it to say, there's really nothing. There's a 2008 that has 101,000 miles on it. That's $65,000. So that's available on the used market today. Most of the trucks that are available on the used market are anywhere from 2006 to 2008. Most of them are above $100,000. Some of them significantly above $100,000. So we couldn't buy something that would.
I don't think I got that.
I found it, it was on.
As I said, I sent it via email, so. I'll make, if you didn't, I'll make sure.
I got it.
Sometimes I get a little fat finger syndrome going on the email, but I didn't get one. And honestly, I didn't get one back that said, hey, it didn't send to you, because once in a while I'll do, Nancy@pleasanttownship.com, because I type Nancy and click on it, and sometimes it doesn't take, so.
Oh,
I'll make
it was
sure.
Friday, last Friday.
Yeah, I sent it Friday, probably early afternoon, so. But at any rate, that's kind of my thought with it.
So when we get that truck back, just in my mind, would you go through the list of our fleet, what we will have?
So we will have basically 2 engines. So we'll have the 2018 Rosenbauer, which is engine 231 right now, the truck we bought to replace that truck. We'll have the 2007 Pierce, engine 232. We'll have
That's the one
That's the one that's in Appleton right now that we're discussing. We'll have the tanker, which is a 2009
now where's the tanker at right now?
out in the bay.
And do we use it?
Absolutely. That has 3,000 gallons of water on it. That's our lifeblood in this township. We don't have fire hydrants out here, so
And how much does 232 hold?
1,250 gallons.
All right.
Those are our main fire trucks, and of course, we have the grass fighter that's 2018. We have both medics. One currently is a 2009. That one's going to be replaced with the new medic we just ordered, which will be here in November-ish. We have the one we remounted a couple of years ago. It's a 2018 chassis with the box is a 2003 box. And then we have the utility truck, which is a 17, and my car, which is a 17. And we have the utility trailers that are, one's an agricultural trailer and the other one's a drafting trailer. So that's our fleet.
Sounds like a pretty good fleet.
It is. And in all honesty, we will be, with getting this truck fixed and getting it back, it's going to put us in a very good position that really our oldest vehicle, once the new medic arrives, will be the tanker. And that truck's not due to be replaced until like 2034. So we'll be sitting in a very good position vehicle wise. Our maintenance costs have come down. And again, I didn't run maintenance. I should have, but I didn't. But our maintenance costs have come down every year as we've updated our fleet. Now as years pass, that'll probably tick up a little bit, but we're staying on top of our preventative maintenance program. So that's going to help the big problems not happen. So we'll have little maintenance, but not spigot maintenance issues, which I think was one of the issues we had before was, some of that preventative maintenance wasn't always done. you know, and for whatever reason, I can't speak to my predecessor, but since I've gotten here, we stayed on top of our preventive maintenance program and tried to keep the vehicles in, you know, as tip-top shape as we can. We're doing the protecting of the undercarriages on all the vehicles now. We're spraying under there. We're doing that. You know, Ed had asked about that last meeting. We're spraying under the vehicles usually about once a week. Now, when the temperatures dip very cold, we don't do it. We don't want the linkages and some of that electronic stuff to freeze up. But the road department was in today, sprayed all their vehicles today, so we're getting some good use out of that pressure washer we purchased, which is good. So we're doing the things we need to do to prevent some of the things that we've had happen in the past from happening in the future. And if we keep on that path, then we should be in shape vehicle-wise. So I don't know if you guys, you know, have a discussion that you want to have between the three of you about that, but I would recommend that we go ahead and fix that truck and get it back in, you know, as good a condition as we can. That way we've got it to be a good reserve truck, and like I said, it can be used for both an engine and a tanker, which is the great thing about that truck. So given the amount of water it carries.
Do you have an exact figure?
I came up with $75,015.
So you need a resolution to spend.
An additional $25,015, because I believe, if I remember correctly, we authorize up to $50,000 for that. And Ed, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think my memory served me correct. So I would need a resolution maybe to authorize up to, you know, another 26,000 or however you guys want to word it, just to keep up round numbers. But you know, again, the work is being done at cost. My estimate is at this point we've got about $150,000 worth of work being done for, and these are round numbers, about $100,000 or about $75,000. I'm sorry. So you know, it's about half off, which is, I don't think we're gonna find that anywhere else.
And they'll deliver it back to us.
Yeah, they will bring it back to us. I would like to go up and do a final inspection on it. Maybe Ed and I can travel up there and just do a quick final inspection on it to make sure things are the way they should be, and it passes pump test and does all those types of things. And then they'll deliver it right back here and it'll be back in service.
That head gasket, what figure, did they put a figure on it?
They've not, they left it open. You and I discussed it at $10,000 is what we discussed today.
And that's included in that?
Well, see, and that's the kind of caveat here. I've taken that 31% off of that price too. They're gonna do every other work at cost. They're gonna do that work at cost. So I've estimated $6,900 for that. If you think we need more, you know, maybe we authorize a little bit more money.
I don't know.
Nobody knows. I mean, it's a guess.
The head could be cracked and we need to put a head on it. You know, you just, until that's removed from the motor.
Yeah.
And magnified.
I don't know how to estimate that, to be honest with you. You and I talked about it a couple of times.
So 25,
I think that would be safe, hopefully.
do an additional 30.
And I think that's a good price for what we're getting done.
I would agree with you, Ed.
I mean, I did the best I could negotiating that figure down. Originally it was at their cost. Now they've got it to our cost, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not paying retail for any of this, so that's a good thing. And I appreciate you talking to that guy, because
Sounds like we're gonna have
That
nearly a
definitely
brand new
helped.
truck, so,
Right, yes.
I mean, a lot of the components underneath it will be new.
yeah.
That's the great thing about it. I mean, you know, we're expecting at least another 10 to 12 years out of this truck before we even think about replacing it. This is gonna, you know, go a long way to making that happen, so.
I will make resolution 23. To spend an additional $30,000 for the repairs to the Pierce engine. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hans.
Yes.
Mr. Good.
Yes,
I do have one other thing that just popped up before the meeting, and it's not on my agenda this evening, but Lieutenant Dave Moore was in, has given his letter of retirement to the board, to myself, and to the fiscal officer. I would ask the board for a motion to accept Lieutenant Dave Moore's retirement after over 38 years, almost 39 years of service to Pleasant Township, beginning in 1982 as a volunteer. He started his career service in October of 1987. Dave's been promoted as lieutenant since March of 2000. I would ask the board for a resolution accepting Lieutenant David Moore's retirement effective March 31st at 2021 at 0800 hours. His last shift will be March 30th.
I'll make resolution 24 to accept the retirement papers for Lieutenant Moore effective March 31st, 2021 at 0800 hours.
A second.
Roll call?
Trustee Sheets.
Yeah.
Trustee Hunter.
Yes.
Trustee Good.
Yes.
And lastly, just a quick update on the coronavirus. As of today, there's 47,072 active cases in all of Ohio. That is down significantly from where we were even just 2 weeks ago. There are currently 5,135 active cases in Franklin County, which equals just under 11% of the cases in the state. We remain at the red level due to our cases being the cases per 100,000 population, which is 246.59. We won't come off a red until our cases per 100,000 drop under 100. So we'll be there for the foreseeable future, I would think. So other than that, unless you guys have anything for me, that's all I have for tonight.
No,
Thank you very much.
thanks. Okay, now I'll move on to Sheriff's Department report. Deputy Carter.
Good evening, sorry for my tardiness.
I have lengthy notes on here under yours, so I'll just give you a copy. You can have it.
All right, let me get through these stats and I'll take a look at this real quick.
Do you want to chair?
I can stand, I'm good. All right, so this is from January 26th to February 22nd. We had 233 calls of service, which is 33 less than the month before. We had 26 reports, and that is an increase of 14. We had 6 arrests, and that is 1 less than a month ago. During this month, we had 2 drug-related offenses. That is 1 more than a month ago. One of them was an OD on Cedar Drive on January 29th. We had one on London Groveport Road, January 29th. We had a rash of burglaries, B&Es. Harrisburg on February 10th. On Harrisburg, February 15th. One on February 16th, also on Harrisburg. One on February 18th on Harrisburg, Georgesville Road. And I kind of made some notes because I looked into those. On the 10th, it was basically a smash and grab out of a business. Had 4 suspects basically take a bunch of cartons of cigarettes and some other knickknacks out of the store. It was 3 male whites, 1 female white, and a blue silver minivan. On the 15th, it was out of a residence, and the patrol deputies actually caught that suspect, and he was also in a stolen truck. On the 16th, it was out of a residence, again on Harrisburg. It was a white Dodge Ram pickup, not the same gentleman on the 15th. Had 0 robberies, had 1 motor vehicle theft. That's an increase of 1 on February 18th. Excuse me. 2 thefts. That was 1 less than a month ago. 1 on Osprey on January 28th, and 1 on Rolfe Road on February 9th. We had 2 weapon-related runs. That included shots in the area. That is what I have currently. Is there any questions?
All my notes basically are the same thing going on Rob Roy Regal and Gardner Roads. Now, yesterday I received several phone calls because they were shooting all day long. I called the sheriff's department and he called me and he went on out, which he said there's really nothing he can do if they're not being safe, which I understand that.
Was that
And
Deputy Townsend by chance?
Yes.
Okay, I called him too, so,
did you?
yeah, I heard the run go out, and I
Oh.
was heading out that way,
When I
so.
was talking to him, I told him he should call you. And I don't even know if you can see these people shooting. They're down over the hill. And the people that called to complain to me said that they were shooting all weekend. Today, I got a call that they were shooting earlier today. About 2 o'clock, I took my dogs out. I could hear them from my house. I live on Alkire. They're shooting off Gardner. And I was outside for maybe 20 minutes. They shot the whole time. And someone else called me and said that they were shooting all day today. I was sitting at my computer at my kitchen table and I could hear them shooting with my doors closed. I kept opening my door to see if I could hear them, and I could. And then I had the door closed and then I could hear them with the door closed. And I live far away. They're shooting right behind people's homes. So I don't know what in the world you can do about it. It's a noise. It's not people aren't complaining because of the safety of this shooting.
Right.
It's they're infringing on other people's rights to enjoy their property.
The only thing that I can kind of say on that, I mean, obviously you're out of the country, you're allowed to shoot basically as long as it's in a safe manner. Now, the noise part of it, you know, you have noise ordinances.
We have a noise resolution.
Yes, and, you know, if they are outside of that, we might have a little bit more teeth to go with, but there's really not much unless they do it unsafe.
Now, I don't know what 90 decibels would be, but I would venture to say, like where these people live and they're hearing that, it's under 90 decibels. It's just the repetitiveness.
Right.
It's not really the loud noise of it. I can't imagine these people living with that this summer and being outside.
Sounds like they're gonna run out of ammunition.
I know.
That's what I was thinking.
They cannot get anything.
Right.
If they're shooting that frequent, they're gonna run
Yeah.
out.
And it's really expensive too.
I did say
Yeah.
that to somebody. I said, I don't know where they're getting the ammunition. It's hard to find.
And so I also, I'm reading here about the ATVs and things. I've been out there a few times myself and it's just hit and miss. I can't stay out there 24/7. And the best thing I can relay to people is if you see them out running around, just give dispatch a call and get a deputy out there.
And actually, when Deputy Townsend went out yesterday, one of the people that had called me, I told them that, yes, I had to call the sheriff's department because they don't want their name involved in it.
Right.
And they said, well, imagine that. He saw the cruiser pull up and they had stopped. And then as soon as they left, they started again. It's almost like they're listening to dispatch somehow.
Well, I know
Because the ATVs, they do the same thing when
Yeah.
Google Road calls.
Well, I can tell you that specific house has, I mean, it's on a list to kind of keep a watch of, but again, if we're lucky to happen to catch them,
Right.
it's going to be hit and miss.
I've had so many phone calls from the Regal Road area that there was probably a month that I drove up there 3 or 4 times a week when they would call me. I never saw them. And then they took a video and sent it to me.
The speed trailer, I see this. My hitch is on, so I can get that. Now, the other part of this is the trailer also runs on solar. So now that we're starting to get some sunny days, I can be able to get it out there and keep a charge. So I can get that out there. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, that's it. Okay.
The blue's just
Yeah.
ongoing stuff.
Oh, okay. All right. Any other questions? Concerns?
No.
Okay. So I know it's starting to warm up again. So make sure that when we're all out starting to think about doing our yard work, to keep our garage doors closed if we're not in the house, or basically keep it closed unless you're leaving. Obviously, we're seeing the rash of break-ins and stuff like that. If you're not in your garage or not leaving, keep that garage door shut. Things are crime of opportunity.
Did the sheriff's department take a report on the 16 tires that were dumped on Young Road?
I will have to look into that. I will let you know tomorrow.
It sounded like somebody just drove down Young Road and had somebody in the back of the pickup pitching them because they were stretched about a half a mile.
Yeah, at least.
Remember what day that was by chance?
Sunday night.
Sunday. So we also just did a transition of our environmental detective. Deputy Forsyth is retired. So we've been, before her retirement, we had talked back and forth about some people who actually live in West Jeff. The last time I knew of the vehicle that they were driving, it was an older Chevy pickup with black racing stripes, and it's a junker truck, and they have been dumping tires.
These were all passenger. These were no big truck tires. These were all
Passenger
passenger
tires.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll talk to Deputy Conkle, who is now the detective for environmental. Let's see if he's got anything on that, and we'll kind of go from there.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Move on to old business. Since our last meeting, I've had 3 people call me about different things. And they weren't really complaining, but they all said they had a problem with the answering machine.
Okay. I sent a ticket in, we were supposed to shut that auto answer off, so we've been getting phone calls, so.
The one gentleman, and he was calling about a zoning
Mhm.
question. And he said, that's what he does for a living. And he said, I'm not complaining, but he said, I wish you would have called me when you got that system, because he said you shouldn't have that many clicks and buzzes that
It's
does.
supposed to be taken off. I'll double check it tomorrow. We've been getting phone calls here, so I'm assuming it's shut off now, but
Okay,
I know IT's been tied up with CAD and doing some other things, so it may not have been as high a priority on their list, but I did put a ticket in to get that taken off, so.
and Jeff with the Pleasant Prairie Solar Team called yesterday. And he said they are planning to hold a few meetings. They don't know the location yet, or if they'll be Zoom or what. And they'll hold them soon to discuss any and all concerns anyone may have about the solar farm coming in. And then when those meetings are scheduled, we will do our best to notify through social media. So anyone that wants to participate, ask questions, voice their opinions, they have that time to do so.
I spoke to Jeff as well, and he left his phone number. He is the member of the outreach team for the Pleasant Prairie Solar Team, and that number would be area code 380-210-9097. If anybody out there would have any questions regarding the Pleasant Prairie Solar System, solar farm, he would appreciate a phone call.
Do you have anything under old business? Okay. New business, I have our insurance rates under new business.
Oh, thanks.
Should have put it under old.
So, last meeting, we got a verbal of 5.4 just to renew what we had. It ended up coming in at 5.84. which is still not a huge increase. The only major difference in the plan is the out-of-pocket, so not the deductible, but the out-of-pocket max is going up by $1,000. So we gotta decide if we want to still go ahead with this plan, and if so, we probably should get a new resolution to go with
And,
this plan.
And the two-tier pharmacy,
Yes, there's two
that's a
tiers now,
change. So
and I
do we
don't
have any idea?
I don't exactly know what medicines would be in each tier. We have until 5/1 to renew. So we're not in a huge hurry if we want to get some more info. You know, I can certainly reach out to Jim and get some more info on it.
I wonder if he could get some, because he, on that email that you forwarded to me, he also put on there, he asked if we wanted to adjust our HRA funding.
Right now, we only do our HRA based on the deductible. So I was a little thrown off by that because we don't do the HRA based on the out-of-pocket. The out-of-pocket is more than the deductible, it always has been. So, yeah,
I thought that would be like, well, like your prescriptions and things.
well, those all are part of your deductible, the prescriptions
Okay.
are. So, any prescription will go towards your deductible and towards your
Okay.
out-of-pocket maximum.
So then would he be talking about that additional, did it go up $1,000?
Yes, the out-of-pocket went, for a single, it's 55, it would move to 65. For family, it'd go from 11 to 13, so I guess it's 2 for a family, but the deductibles are staying the same. The 4 and 8.
So do we have a set amount for the HRA funding, or do we just keep adding? Like if it's low, then we make a resolution to add more to it.
No, so the HRA funding is per person, and what do we do, 10,000 each time for that separate account, and as it gets low, but if we don't, like, say we have 5 employees who don't use $1, we don't pay that for them. So if they don't use it, we don't pay it. If they use it all, we pay it all. So it's, you know, we always look at it as a worst case scenario of, I always like to say 80% using 100%, which is very, very high and unlikely, but that way we've got a good worst case scenario of what it would cost.
So what do you think? Do you,
Oh, this is kind of the first time here because I
Yeah.
haven't been here, so, and, I don't know.
We have time. Like I said, it's February. If we want to get some more information, I certainly can. Because this is a 5/1 renewal, being that it's a renewal, we don't have to go through all the hoops. It'll be a smooth transition if that's what, but if we're not, then obviously we have to move fast to do something different.
should we rescind that resolution from last?
Not, wouldn't rescind it, I would amend it.
Yeah,
Well, we
Amend
don't know what we want to amend it to right now, do we, or should we just leave it alone?
it. I would leave it alone now until we get more information, then amend it.
Okay.
okay, what else, what other information would everybody like to know? And I'll have Jim.
I think just, what does he mean when he asks, did we want to adjust our HRA funding to match?
Well, he's saying, do we want to
increase?
give them more funding than we do now? Because now we do, what is it? Is it 6,000 per family? And you guys pay the last 2, or is it 7 and you pay the last 1?
I think it depends on the physical, you know, the
The
wellness.
wellness,
Um,
throw the wellness in too, because we pay for that.
I want to say it's 7 and 1 if the
That's what I
wellness
would
is
think.
done.
7 and 1.
Yeah, but I don't, off the top of my head, I don't honestly
Yeah,
know the
Yeah,
specific
probably
numbers.
take
Not
some
actually looking
time
at
and
them.
Okay.
discuss that later.
You want to maybe talk about that again next meeting? Maybe I can see if Jim was available via phone.
That'd be fine.
Yeah,
Since
that'd
we
be great.
Have a long one tonight. Okay,
That'll work.
I will check with him. I'm sure he won't mind.
Any other new business? Do you have anything else for me?
No.
Okay, on to announcements. Swaco has been working with the Ohio Beverage Association to create a marketing and educational video about the recent grant Pleasant Township and the city of Whitehall received for the recycle carts. And they would like to, they had planned to be at Swaco last Friday to take some video of their facility, and they wanted to come over to our township and take video of a street with all the carts out and hopefully see the haulers picking them up. So I told Hannah at Swaco when our pickup day was, so you might be seeing a video coming out with your trash being picked up. All right, Paula, your turn.
Okay, I received an email, I don't know if you guys, anybody else got that or not, but that volunteer firefighters dependent fund, that board that we always do at the beginning.
Oh, yes, 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 we can do that.
Okay, so we haven't done it yet, right?
No,
Okay,
No.
so I have the form here, and so, let's see. So you have to name members.
Yeah.
And, okay, I will give you a copy of that. Okay. I had, received an email from, Berman Flowers that said, "Your healthiest you, teledoc billing and invoicing is changing. Berman Flower will no longer be a part of the equation. You'll have a direct relationship with Health Issue for your employees. This change just requires a signature." I think I sent that to you like when I was first off or something, and so they've been wanting that. So I had told them you guys could either authorize me to sign it, or if you guys want to sign that.
I think we can authorize you to sign in.
Okay. Okay. There was an email from Tech Review, February 23rd meeting was canceled. Randy had sent out that information on the OPEC lawsuit. Just a newsletter from Clarkland County Soil and Water, some information on the injured worker from BWC. A couple emails from Department of Job and Family Services, just wanting people to be on the alert for identity theft information. And then in my mail was like a certificate from the Census Bureau about our participation. So that's pretty much all I have.
unfortunately, you can blame the post office for the water damage to the mail.
I
The
saw
snowplow and the open mailbox did not go well together.
Okay. Did we have anybody participating on the web?
I just have Hannah, who's the reporter, and a call-in user too, which I don't know who that is.
All right,
That's all we have.
say hi to Hannah. And if no one has anything else, we need to do an executive session. So anything else before I? Okay. All right. I will move to go in executive session according to Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22 G1 and 4 for the purpose of firefighter personnel and negotiations with the union. Do I have a second?
I'll second
that.
Roll call.
Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunter?
Yes.
Trustee Good.
Yes.